infrastructure. And in sports, Aston Villa forward Mbwana Samata joins colleagues on the stay-at-home challenge. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. 4 people, 3 of them foreigners and a Tanzanian national, suspected to have coronavirus symptoms, who were traveling from Mafia, Kibaha Urban and Kibaha Rural, have had their samples taken for testing by anti-coronavirus team from Coast Region. The Chief Medical Doctor in Coast Region, Dr. Gunini, has said that centers providing information on coronavirus have been set up and that preventative measures are being taken against the virus.
We had 4 cases, 1 from Kibaha, 1 from Mafi, and 2 from Kibaha Roro. Once we were informed, we were able to reach them quickly. Samples were taken and tasted, and the results came negative. In the coastal region, there are a lot of industries with Chinese and Turkish expats, and Mafi Island is a popular tourist attraction. So we are taking precaution to control the spread of the virus because we know it is so much expensive to treat it. It is our hope that we will succeed. God will help us.
Tunajua nguvu ya kutibu ni kazi, lakini kwenye kudhibiti nafikiri tutafanikiwa. Inshallah Mungu atatusaidia.
Now, the Minister of Information and Tourism has announced that the government of Zanzibar has suspended all international flights which bring tourists to Zanzibar, being measures to fight the coronavirus. Minister Mahmoud Thabit Kombo made the announcement when inspecting a coronavirus isolation camp in Kidmin.
Leo sasa rasmi tutazuia safari zote.
As of today, we're officially stopping all flights bringing in tourists, and anyone who has already arrived will be required to stay in isolation for 14 days at his own expense. And all relevant authorities have been notified.
Sekta ya utalii mpaka sasa hivi kwa hesabu haraka imeathirika kwa kiasi cha 90%.
The tourism sector has been affected at least by 9%, and this will affect those working in this sector. But we must support each other.
Watu ambao wamesafiri katika nchi hatarishi.
Those who have come from high-risk countries, once they arrive home, they must stay 2 weeks in isolation.
Bani wanatakiwa wakae wiki 2 bila kuchanganyika.
Wananchi wetu, Wazanzibari,
hasa Wazanzibari na wananchi wetu.
The opposition camp in Parliament has called on the government to close its borders in order to prevent the spread of coronavirus into the country. The statement was made by the Shadow Minister of Health, Cecilia Pereso, who also said there is need for the government to come up with prices for protective gears so that they are affordable to ordinary Tanzanians.
Serikali hakikishe mipaka yote inafungwa.
The government must see that all borders are closed so as not to allow visitors or Tanzanians abroad to enter the country, so as to protect more people from getting infected, except for necessary travels and cargo. And if such visitors are allowed in, then the government must place them under quarantine for 14 days. This is because all cases reported are imported. We recognize the effects of closing borders, especially now whereby trade is conducted internationally. However, the health of our people cannot be compromised. We would like government to provide a price guide on all protective items such as sanitizers, masks, etc.
Kukosekana kwa consistency kwenye mambo wakati mwingine kuna wachanganya wa Tanzania.
A lack of consistency brings confusion. You hear leaders at different levels speaking about this matter, which is rather confusing.
Kuna confusion. Hata hilo sisi tunaliona.
Ongoing rains in Morogoro, Iringa and Manyara regions have caused flooding of Great Ruaha River and destroyed guard structures on the bridge along the Kidatu-Ifakara Road. The Minister for Works, Transport and Communication, Engineer Isaac Kamwelwe, has visited the area to assess the situation.
Kwa jina la kitaalamu nguzo au abutment ya upande wa Mikumi.
As you can see, there is high volumes of water, but TANROAD has taken note after Honorable President's directive. It is true that they had become lax. TANROAD ministers, if the road or bridge becomes impassable, then no, you too will be fired.
Leo nina barabara za mkoa ambazo ni trunk road.
At least 4 trans roads are impassable, but for Morogoro region, we are below the valley, and this makes it difficult because there is so much water. We are glad that Honorable Minister has come to see us because things were really getting out of hand. As you can see, there is a lot of water.
The National Service has started to implement President Dr. John Maguful's directive on food sufficiency by growing 2,200 acres of maize, rice and bean crops at its camps in Rukwa and Morogoro regions.
Mpango wenyewe upo ambao nimetenga katika awamu mbili. Awamu ya kwanza,
the first phase is for 2019-20, whereby 1,000 hectares of maize were cultivated, but another 1,000 hectares have been set aside for rice. The second phase for 2021 to 24-25 will be to expand our farms, whereby we hope to cultivate 26,500 hectares.
Mipango ambayo tumekuwa nayo mimi pamoja na kamati yangu.
Our plan is to farm extensively and profitably. This is why other institutions too have been involved, such as TARI, whereby they are researchers of seeds and soil experts.
Ambao pale kuna watafiti wa mbegu mbalimbali.
Ongoing rains in Singida region have caused 2 dams to flood at Kindai and Singida Mungai, inconveniencing residents in the areas who called on the government to construct the road that passes through the dams to tarmac level so that it is passable at all times.
Things are not good. There is so much water. We're asking if a bridge can be constructed. When I'm going to the clinic, I have to get on a boat because there is just too much water. We've had to close the road because security is poor. Contractors came to see the extent of the damage. What we've had to do is to construct an alternative route. Houses and crops have also been damaged.
A witness for the defense, Musa Bakari, in the case facing Kigoma Urban MP Zito Kabwe, has told Kisutu Resident Magistrate Court in Dar es Salaam that even though he does not know the member, he has decided to give his evidence because he does not think the member of the parliament had used seditious words. MP Zito Kabwe is facing 3 charges of sedition. The witness, who is a food vendor, said that on October 28th in Tandika area, where he conducts his business activities, while playing with his mobile phone, he saw Zito Kabwe addressing the press via social media, where he spoke of various things, including praising Samata for scoring a goal, as well as activists. Now, he said he saw nothing seditious about that. The case was adjourned until April 2nd and 3rd. And that is the end of national news. International news follows shortly. And in international news, the Ministry of Finance and Planning in Uganda has said it estimates that at least 3.4 million citizens will live in extreme poverty due to effects of the coronavirus, and that out of the number, about 780 will become poor in a period of less than 4 months.
The pandemic has already led to shortages of drugs, industrial chemicals, medical equipment, and consumer goods like smartphones, as factories in mainland China shut down. I've seen it today when I was driving early this morning. I always come from a very congested area, but there were very few cars because people were staying at home. The low activity in the industry and the services sector will result in true loss of jobs, further leading to a decline in economic growth and an increase in the level of poverty. The number of people that would be pushed into poverty is estimated at approximately 770,000 Ugandans.
Now, 4 people have been admitted at Mbagati Hospital in Nairobi, Kenya, after showing symptoms of the coronavirus. Results show that among them 1 person tested negative, while the other 3 were still waiting for their results. Now, the government of Kenya has said that 7 patients have so far been confirmed to have been infected with the virus.
Yesterday, we announced that there were no new coronavirus cases and that the 7 patients who have tested positive for the virus are still undergoing treatment and are stable. We continue to monitor their progress as well as individuals that have come in contact with them. Following successful contact tracing, we are now monitoring an additional 7 people. We have released a total of 44 contacts following expiry of the 14-day period.
And the governor of North Kivu, the Democratic Republic of Congo, has urged residents to be united during this time when the country is facing challenges due to the coronavirus, which has infected 18 people to date.
We are told not to shake hands, walk out randomly. I'm trying to imagine if we can manage to follow the directives so that we could contribute in reducing spread of this disease and protect our immunity. Meanwhile, we are calling on all who have passports must be traced on where they come from, where they have passed, and who did they meet.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly after the break. We'll be right back.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. Dar es Salaam Region Commissioner Paul Makonda has called on the Ministry of Finance to remove or reduce taxes and raw materials used to make sanitizers so as to enable producers manufacture the product and sell to consumers at affordable costs.
Honorable Prime Minister has already given directives that prices of sanitizers should not be overly charged. I asked the owners of the factory regarding what is their main challenge in the business, and they say that raw materials, since they are all imported, and at this time it is not easy to get them, causing prices of this product to be high. Right now, we are having materials challenge. We are calling for the government support in this matter so that the items can be available in the country.
Entrepreneurs who export their goods in the international market have urged the government to look into how they can support them to mitigate effects of the coronavirus in the business sector, as some countries have banned imports from countries with confirmed coronavirus cases.
This disease has affected key economical areas, including exportation of products, since big airlines have seized routes to USA. Even buyers, if they know that certain products comes from countries that have been affected by coronavirus, then it becomes a problem.
The Minister of State, Prime Minister's Office for Investment, Angela Kairuki, has called on industry owners in production of edible oil to see how they can address the problem of a shortage of 360,000 tons of edible oil in the country by increasing production to meet the demand in the market.
As the government, there are some areas that we still put emphasis to factory owners, as well as influence others who are interested in investing in the country to continue using opportunities available, including increased production of packages. There is also another issue of textiles, where we are commending those who have invested in the sector. Again, as the government, we have decided to take the opinions of giving priority to few attractive sectors so as it is easy to estimate values. God has blessed us to be surrounded with almost 7 countries that do not have ports. Kigoma is a very potential investment center if it will be well marketed in Congo, Rwanda, and Burundi. From those opportunities, Tanzanians can invest in industrial sector or any other sector like agriculture or even fishing.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lend.
And in sports news tonight, Aston Villa forward Mbwana Samata has joined his colleagues to take the stay-at-home challenge and did his in a stylish and skillful manner. Here's more on the story.
Major football competitions have been suspended across the world, including the Premier League, where the Wenger plays, which has now been rescheduled to resume on April 30th. The decision was taken in an effort to reduce the spread of the pandemic. Many African stars have shared their videos on social media juggling toilet rolls instead of footballs in their houses. The Tanzanian international, on his part, juggled a tea bag into a cup placed on a table in a delightful manner.
Now, Dutch, Spanish and Monaco Grand Prix have been postponed, meaning the first 7 races of the Formula One season have been affected by coronavirus.
The earliest the first race could now take place will be in Azerbaijan on 7th of June. In addition, regulation changes set to take place next year have been postponed until 2022. The postponement of 3 more races was made after the conference call involving the FIA president Jean Todt, F1 chief executive Chase Carey, the Formula One sporting director Ross Brown, and the 10 team principals. It was not unexpected given the increasingly strong grip of coronavirus on Europe and fears that mass gatherings and movement of Formula One teams and fans across the continent would only exacerbate the situation.
Former Arsenal duo Johan Giroud and Alexander Song are among 9 players sacked by Swiss club FC SION for refusing to take an unemployment settlement in light of the coronavirus. Here's more on the story.
The entire squad was contacted on social messaging service WhatsApp by President Christian Constantine on Tuesday. Constantine's message asked the players to take a technical unemployment deal which would see them receive a payment of around 9,600 Swiss francs, an amount that is equivalent to 80% of the legal monthly salary in Switzerland. The players were given until noon on Wednesday to respond, and although many of them refused or failed to reply, 9 were subsequently let go, many of them on contracts that were due to expire at the end of June.
And Ronald Koeman is hoping to one day be in a position to take the managerial reins at Barcelona, but admits the timing of opportunities to head back to Camp Nou have not been right up until this moment.
The Dutchman is still held in the highest regard from his playing days in Catalonia. A reunion with the Blaugrana has been mooted for some time, but no deal has ever been done. Koeman was approached again when Barca took the decision to part with Ernesto Valverde in January, but the 56-year-old is currently tied to a deal with the Netherlands national side. There is a break clause in his contract with Orange that will allow him to link up with Barca, but that can only be triggered once a European Championship campaign is completed.
And that's what ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.